Hello everyone, welcome to another little Bible diary video. Today we are going through Exodus 21, 22 to 25, 9, and it is the 24th of the 1st, 2019. So my first points are in 21, 23, jumping right into it. 21, 23, talking about, of course, this is a frequent verse I get from reference by Jehovah's Witnesses when arguing that eternal punishment isn't justice. They're like, eternal punishment isn't justice, like God, like eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of thing. Thing is though, that this standard presented here, the whole if there is harm, then you shall pay life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. So the commentary articulates this really well. It talks about the principle here was meant to guide judges in assessing damages. It was not intended to be applied literally in every case, and it was assumed that circumstances would be taken into account. Interesting. I also find that people who reference this verse, they're like, oh, eye for an eye, in regards to the punishment of sin, often have a fundamental misunderstanding of sin and the weight of it, which is always tragic. Next verse is in 21:28, talking about how if an ox gores someone, then it shall be put to death and stuff like that. We see this kind of frequently throughout this passage, that human life isn't held in the same regards to property damages, which was quite unusual for this era. Normally people who were caught stealing would be put to death or imprisoned harshly and stuff like that. But human life, if you do mess with that, it's a very serious punishment, and that is because human life is holy to God, which I think is very sweet. Chapter 22 verses 2 to 3 talking about the thief. Kind of here, I'll just read it out for you. If a thief is found breaking in and is struck so that he dies, there shall be no blood guilt for him, but if the sun is risen on him, there shall be blood guilt for him. This of course is because in the sense of if you're jumped and you make a moment in that decision, that's a self-defense. But if there was an ability to stop and possibly identify the thief, then if you have the opportunity to do otherwise, where self-defense wasn't really viable, then there may be issues with that. Chapter 22, 16 to 17, talking about laws of social justice and the like. And I'll read this one out because I feel like it kind of needs to be read out, and then we'll jump to the commentary. If a man seduces a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall give her the bride price for her and make her his wife. If her father utterly refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money equal to the bride price for virgins. Now, we see this frequently referenced. Sometimes this is used as a point against the Bible. Oh, the Bible says that women need to be married to their rapists and stuff like that, which is not true. If I'm remembering correctly, there's 3 different types of stages of sexual crime. One is seduction, where here it talks about if a woman is seduced, then she needs to be properly gone through the process, and then she must be married to that man. So if he's going to seduce her, you better want to marry her, which is a very good motivation not to do that. Number 2 is adultery, in which both parties consented and are committing some form of adultery, which they're both to be put to death. And the third one is rape, which the rapist should be put to death, I believe. So those are the 3 standards, and the Bible is very just in dealing with all of those. So 22:28, you shall not revile God nor curse a ruler of your people. Obviously this applies in some form. This is re-referenced in the New Testament. We've got to pray for our leaders and our politicians, even if they're not on the party that we would like. 23, 21. I put this down as a possible reference to God re-entering into creation. Of course, it says, pay careful. This is referencing the angel. Behold, I send an angel before you to guard you on the way and to bring you to the place that I prepared. Splendid angel, sounds like. But then it says, pay careful attention to him and obey his voice. Do not rebel against him, for he will not pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. Interesting. Also, and then jumping ahead to 23, 26, talking about the blessings that God will give to the people if they remain faithful and obedient. None shall miscarry or be barren in your land. I will fulfill the number of your days, which is kind of a cool contrast to a lot of Genesis, which was a lot of women dealing with infertility. So this is a promise that deals with that in a sense, which is pretty cool. 24:17, my final note, which is another reference to the glory of God. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire on the top of the mountain in the sight of the people of Israel, always appearing in epic proportions. Classic awesome God. That's all I think I have for today. Thanks for watching.